Now, before we get started, if you're not a serious learner or an author, you can hop out of this video. You can watch one of these suggested videos down below, and if you're watching me on laptop, then these videos on the side. You don't have to watch my video. Anyways, looks like half of them have already left, and I don't really care. Those who are still watching, let's get started. Hit the intro. You know, they call it a horror classic, but The Shining is not just about the ghost. It's about language. It's about madness. It's about how words can haunt you louder than screams ever could. Welcome back to my channel. This is Parminder Singh, your host and your fun fact guy. And in this video, we're not just reviewing The Shining, we're breaking it down, not as readers, but as learners. Because this book is a masterclass in storytelling, in psychology, and in English that crawls right under your skin. And we're gonna break it down into 3 segments. Number 1, language learning value. Then creative writing lessons. And lastly, critical thinking and themes. But before I get into that, let me give you a background of what The Shining is all about. So, The Shining is a story of a man named Jack Torrance, a former high school teacher, an aspiring writer, a recovering alcoholic, and a father of a 5-year-old son, Danny Torrance. He takes up a job at the Overlook Hotel as a caretaker during the winter, and when the snow seals them in, the isolation, the ghost, and Jack's own demon starts to boil over. The real horror isn't the supernatural, it's watching a man slowly lose himself into madness. And how do they come out of it? How do they escape this ordeal at the Overlook Hotel? That is the crux of the story. And you know, I think the Overlook Hotel, it's like a Hell in a Cell match. The only way out is through terror. Now, let's talk about the first segment that we were talking about, language learning value. First things first, let's talk language, because this channel is all about acquiring language naturally. The Shining isn't written in old-fashioned textbook English. It's modern, accessible, and psychologically vivid. The vocabulary ranges from B2 to C2. Intermediate to advanced learners will find a challenge, but not an impossible one. In this book, you'll notice that Stephen King doesn't just describe things, he makes you feel him. He doesn't say Jack was angry. He says a slow red mist rose in his brain. That's imagery, that's emotion through metaphor. So if you're learning English, don't just read King, study him. See how he uses simple words to create deep tension, and that's how you turn English into art. Which brings me to my next segment, creative writing lessons. This book teaches the art of atmosphere. King traps the reader in one place, the Overlook Hotel, but through language, he makes it feel alive. You feel the walls breathe, the hallways whisper, and time collapse. So if you're an aspiring author, then take notes, because you don't need 100 characters, you just need 3 and the right kind of tension. And in this book, King uses symbolism. All work and no play makes Jack the dull boy. That's repetition as descent into insanity. And talking about the pacing of this book, Stephen King builds madness slowly. like a kettle that keeps heating until it explodes. And talking about the dialogues, they're natural, real, and full of personality. So if you're learning English, then his character dialogue is your best teacher. And remember, Stephen King doesn't show off with fancy words. He builds fear with the familiar ones. And that's a writing skill worth mastering. He doesn't scare the readers with the ghost in the hallway. He scares them by showing them how fragile the human mind is. Now let's talk about the third segment, critical thinking and themes. Now let's peel back the layers. The horror of The Shining isn't the hotel, it's what happens inside Jack's mind. This book explores isolation and its psychological cost. It talks about family breakdown under pressure and how ambition turns into obsession. And if you're learning English, then that's your essay goldmine. You can write about these themes, analyze the characters, and compare it with real life mental health struggles. That's how you turn reading into reflection. Now here's where I want you to step into the ring. So if you read the book or even watched the movies, then drop your thoughts down below. What did you feel when you read this book? Did the language scare you more than the ghost did? What was the powerful line or scene for you? So write your thoughts in the comments down below. Consider this your mini review, because when you write, you grow. When you share, you learn. Here's another pro tip I'd like to give you. Don't just read the book, The Shining. Listen to the audiobook as well. And let me tell you something, audiobooks are really useful. They're one of the best tools to enhance your listening skills, to improve your listening comprehension. It trains your ears, your brain to the new sounds. And when you're learning a second language, you need to know the correct pronunciation of the words, because when you read books, and let me tell you, English is not a phonetic language. The spelling and the pronunciation, they're totally different. So when you read any book, you may pronounce it in your head, pronounce the words differently in your head, and that may be totally different from the ones that native speakers pronounce. So you will know the correct pronunciation when you listen to the audiobooks and also when you watch movies. So do listen to the audiobook as well, and read the book and watch movies. That may sound like a lot of work, but hey, we're learning. We gotta put in some work. Without that, nothing. You're not gonna learn anything. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they're lying to you. They're lying through their teeth. There are no shortcuts. Take it from me. The Shining isn't just a horror story, it's proof that great writing can possess your mind without ever needing a jump scare. Stephen King showed the world you don't need to scream to be heard. Sometimes all it takes is a typewriter, a haunted mind, and a few words that never leave you. So if you've learned anything, drop a comment, share your thoughts, and don't forget, every book has a lesson if you have the guts to read between the lines. So, my dear friends and fellow learners, thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I really appreciate that. And as always, keep reading, keep learning. This is your host Parminder Singh signing off. Take care guys, I'll see you in the next video.